A team that also made a coaching change was the Charlotte Hornets. They hired Kenny Atkinson to be the new coach, 4-year deal to become the new head coach. He had a 118 and 190 record as the Brooklyn Nets head coach. He was recently the Clippers assistant and Warriors assistant. Now, JC, this is your former coach, Kenny Atkinson, to coach the Nets.
Stinks.
You went through those
We
rebuilds.
were bad the first 2 yeyears, super bad.
So what do you think about Kenny Atkinson getting his shot with the Hornets, and you think it was the right move to hire him over D'Antoni?
Well, D'Antoni's obviously the better coach in my opinion, but obviously the Hornets wanted to go in a different direction. But I mean, I'm really familiar with obviously Kenny Atkinson. He was the coach of my team. Very good player development coach. Helped develop D'Angelo Russell. Who else? Karis LeVert took a lead. Spencer Dinwiddie.
Rondé Hollis Jefferson.
No.
Jared Allen.
A lot. Just a side fact. A lot of people don't know this, but Brook Lopez developed his 3-point shot under Kenny Atkinson for the 1 year that he was there in Brooklyn. So he essentially turned him into a stretch five. So
Congratulations.
I look.
You're talking about his all-time leading scorer, bro. Yeah. Unless Katie broke that already.
Nah, I don't know. He doesn't play enough games.
Brook got like 8 years in there.
Oh, and Jared Allen also helped develop Jared Allen as well. He's a really analytically based coach. He just believes in 3-point shooting and getting to the basket. He hates mid-range shots. It's funny because the year D'Angelo Russell broke out, he allowed him to shoot mid-range shots. But I look at this Hornets roster construction. I mean, it has LaMelo, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, P.J. Washington, Kelly Oubre. This is a team that was number 6 in the NBA in 3-point attempts. I think that Kenny Atkinson can flirt around and make him a top 3, maybe even the second most 3-point shooting team in the NBA. I mean, LaMelo Ball was a 39% 3-point shooter on 8 attempts. Terry Rozier 37, P.J. Washington 36, Kelly Oubre 35, and Miles Bridges was at 35%, so his jump shot improved. The only thing that's worrying me about this team and about Kenny Atkinson's style as a coach is he's not much of a defensive-minded coach at all. He leaves that more so to the assistants, but the assistants that I don't know what assistants he's going to bring if Charlotte's going to allow him to bring his own group of assistants. But the assistants that he did bring to Brooklyn, they were managing the defensive side of the ball. Jock Bond, Jordan Ott, those guys were all, they took care of the defensive side of the ball. But you asked if I think they can make the playoffs. I don't think that they can make the playoffs. They have one of the worst. They were one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA last year. I think they were bottom 5.
They were horrible.
Going into this season with the same players, the same scheme, I don't think they're going to be a good defensive team. And then just to list off teams in the East, I mean, you got the Nets who are going to be good next year, Celtics, Bulls, Heat, all these other teams. I think there's I don't want to say there's a lock 8 teams, but there's a good 8 teams that are better than them. And then you have to worry about obviously Cleveland. I think that they're more in tune to make a playoff push this year as well. The only thing that I think that can save the Hornets is if LaMelo Ball takes another leap and becomes a real superstar. I don't know how likely that is. I'm not saying he doesn't have the skill set for it. Obviously, he's gonna have to. The offense is gonna be completely different under Kenny Atkinson. So we'll see how it goes. I think this is a good move for a young team like Charlotte. I think if not this year, maybe next year they'll be more in tune to make the playoffs. But I think this is a perfect signing for them.
You want to go or you want me to go?
Oh, you're right there.
All right, man. So I think they definitely can make the playoffs.
No, they can.
The last 2 seasons, they've been a play-in team. Yes, they've gotten smoked in both those play-in games, and they definitely got overmatched and it looked like they didn't belong there.
That would never happen to Anthony Edwards. Have you seen the new movie Hustle?
I watched bits and pieces of it. It was really good. His part for sure I saw it was really lit.
Anthony Edwards is a born actor. Now he's just great at anything he does. Honestly,
Hernan Gomez was excellent. He was excellent.
He's done. They did the story on him.
No, it's not about him. It's about Bo Cruz.
Made him the main actor.
I'm about to watch that.
I don't know. I just think that
I didn't watch it yet. I'll watch it later.
He's probably just a good actor.
Was he
and so back to Kenny Atkinson, he, as JC mentioned already, is great in player development. And with a young team like the Charlotte Hornets, you bring in a guy that's going to try and emphasize the fundamentals of the game for them. Guys that clearly need motivation on the defensive side of the ball.
Buck Knight might get more.
James Buck Knight, he showed flashes down the stretch of the season for sure, but you add Buck Knight to that rotation of consistently getting him the ball and trying to make him more of a scorer for you guys. But a lot of it, for me, really emphasizes on how he alluded to LaMelo Ball. Now, LaMelo Ball already has solidified himself as one of the better players in the NBA for sure. I'm not saying he's one of the best players at Riv, so stop with the eye roll. But what Kenny can do is force LaMelo to become more of a locker room presence. Where LaMelo right now is still young, he's still slightly immature. He shows still like I want while Kenny's his head coach still be flashy, still have fun playing the game. But when it comes to being a true leader, when it comes to maturing, I want to see Kenny really emphasize that with LaMelo because we know LaMelo's ceiling is a potential top 10 player in the NBA. LaMelo has all the tools to be that. Now, he needs someone to come in and really change his mindset, his approach towards carrying himself towards the game. If Kenny can do that and try to make LaMelo more of a presence in the locker room, then things get exciting for Charlotte and the organization as a whole, because then you have your one cornerstone that you can trust, you can rely on, and more than just physical capabilities. Then you go and you add different role players. You already have Miles Bridges. You go and you potentially get a player that we're going to talk about later, like a DeAndre Ayton. Start to fill out this roster a little bit more with,
That'll be good.
with maybe a little bit more defensive presence. You have that superstar already, that potential superstar. Let me correct myself. This is very exciting if I'm a Charlotte Hornets fan.
Real quick, if they do get DeAndre in, don't be surprised if Kenny Atkinson helps him develop a 3-point shot sometime down the road. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
This is a good hire. I like this hire. Very strong hire. You know, I think Charlotte.
This guy is funny as hell.
All jokes aside, I like this hire. You guys said it all. Kenny Atkinson, he's a great player development coach. They got a lot of young talent in Charlotte. You know, I think Michael Jordan and that, you know, those owners, they've been doing a good job the last couple of years getting their franchise player. They picked up Terry Rozier. He was good for them for the time being. Gordon Hayward was good that 1 year with them. He's been hurt a little bit, but Miles Bridges, he's developed into a really good player.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly Oubre, he was good off the bench
Really
for them.
good
He was
last
really solid off the bench for them. So I think they got a lot of good. They don't have a center and they don't play defense. Like they virtually just don't want to play
Running
defense.
gun.
So they're like a running gun, heavy, high-powered offense. Kenny Atkinson's good with that. You can see a lot of that net system kind of being implemented with this Charlotte Hornets team. You know, the 3-guard system and stuff like that. So I think, can they make the playoffs?
Tough.
East is tough, man. Atlanta's still going to be around. You know, the Knicks, maybe they can sneak into a
Cavaliers.
play-in. You got the Cavs.
Being generous.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just naming teams that could just run it down. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the Bucks are going to be there.
Chicago.
You know, Chicago's going to be around. Detroit can make a move or two, and they're in
draft.
it.
Oh,
Toronto's going to be around. The Nets, maybe they'll be around.
I'm telling y'all laughed at me, man.
You said them first, and it was so funny.
You
The
had
Heat,
to know.
obviously. So it's Philly.
You
It's a
had
lot
to.
of teams. So I think playing like to make the playoffs, I think that's a stretch to say yeah.
It's gonna be tough.
But I think they're going to be competitive. I think they'll definitely be in a play-in hunt. But the playoffs, it's too early for me to say. I still think there's a couple moves they need to
They've
make.
been playing teams 2 years in a row,
Yeah, but the East is getting better, and they got
gotten
smoked
much better.
twice
but they're gonna get better.
with the same players. Really?
Not necessarily.
Well,
the same
LaMelo
players.
Ball
We
could
don't
take a
know.
They need a center.
LaMelo Ball could take a lead.
LaMelo's a player that is gonna attract people to want to come play with him.
In Charlotte?
I think so.
You think so?
LaMelo
You
is
believe
that
that?
kind of guy. Yeah,
Really?
Yo, honestly,
How
I
you
wouldn't be
figure?
surprised if he leaves either.
I wouldn't be surprised at that either. But
That
if
kinda suck if he
while
leaves.
you still have him on his rookie contract, it'll definitely be a.
You think they make the playoffs if they get Ayton? DeAndre Ayton?
Yes.
Who do we think this guy is?
Who, LaMelo or?
Well, you said they
DeAndre
need a
Ayton.
center, and he can
No,
definitely
but,
fill
like,
that
I
void.
gotta see.
I agree.
He's
I
definitely
understand.
way better than what they have.
DeAndre Ayton's not
way
a
better
better
than-
I don't
no.
think any
We
player
can't-
is saying I'm going to go to Charlotte because I want to play with LaMelo.
Is he better
kinda
than
crazy
Mason
to
Plumlee?
say.
I just don't see it
Yeah.
happen.
That's
Does
Montrezl
he change their
Harrell?
defense from the worst defense to a mid? No.
They could.
No. What?
He could. No, you
James
can't.
Bucknight breaket year.
I'm in.
He's
Their
gonna get-
defense
he's gonna
was
get more
25th in
minutes.
the NBA.
Yeah,
gonna
Aiden
get
doesn't
more
put that to 15.
I think he does. He could. He can.
He's a good defender, bro.
That's the thing. I was
He's
literally
a good
about to
rim
say this.
protector,
We can't just automatically take Ayton because we
Aiden
last saw him or he
bumps them
wasn't.
10 spots.
Your recency
Look at
bias with
Boswilliger.
Ayton. Your recency
10
bias with
spots.
Ayton is really is
I
strong.
don't think. No, he's a good defender individually. I don't think he bumps them 10 spots.
Yeah, I don't know about
think
that
he-
either.
Like I don't think he does that.
I think he helps
ain't
them,
Rudy
but no.
Gobert. Come on.
Yeah, no.
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, come on. That's come
Well,
on.
Rudy Gobert bumps a team like this to first.
Correct. To a degree.
25 to
He's
1.
gassing it. He's gassing it, but
I think
understand
top 10. I
it.
think
All
he
right,
bumps
stop-
top
stop-
10.
stop taking-
The Jazz with
Don't-
Gobert and without Gobert, that's literally the
Correct.
discrepancy.
Yeah, don't take
Oh,
him
and
so
small
That's a
sample
fact.
size.
No,
No,
what
it's
do
a
you
pretty
mean?
significant
Bro,
sample
it
size.
was
What's the
a whole
sample size?
sample, a
What's
whole
the big
season,
sample size?
a whole
I'm
season,
asking. What's the sample size?
a whole season.
It's more than like 50 games, bro.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. So you think he bumps him?
But
to
you've
one?
argued that too.
What?
that nobody on Utah can guard the perimeter, and Rudy Gobert saves
Yeah, but I
everybody.
think Charlotte.
And
is
also
worse.
the sample size thing doesn't
they're worse?
really hold much weight because it's about on-off minutes as well. Like the on-off
So
minutes they
Aiden bumps him
measure.
up 10 spots.
I think there's a chance
you
he can.
said JaVale McGee was the better guy in that lineup.
You play-
He makes some better defense.
No, that's not what he said.
Stop.
No, it's not what he said. He said that
He said
the
he just
drop
said-
off.
no, he said
no,
he- yeah.
the drop
If the
off
drop
from
off
JaVale
Aiden to McGee.
because of the Suns system, really.
You have
What's
to
the-
play.
what's the
You
Charlotte
can
system?
you can defend
DeAndre
differently.
DeAndre Ayton would be more prominent part of that team, though.
But I think if they don't
might
guard,
be their second
if they
go-to
don't guard
scorer.
at the top of the key, it don't matter.
Probably
You
agree.
can defend differently
Think
when
so?
you
Like
know
Terry
somebody's
gets more
behind
touches than
you.
him?
Miles.
Yeah, I understand that, but Aiden ain't. You know what I'm
I
saying?
like Aiden
if,
more,
If the
though.
guards at the
I
top
think
ain't
Aiden's a
gonna
better
guard,
player,
then it
but
don't matter what you're
Miles
making do
Bridges
unless
is
it's
good
like
too,
Rudy
though.
Gobert.
Say it
or
again,
Bam
Rick?
Adebayo. If your guards don't want to guard, it's like DeAndre Ayton is not an elite rim protector.
See, but the thing is, I
He's
feel
a good
like
one,
they
though.
don't
He's
want to.
good, but he's not elite.
A lot of defense, you mentioned it earlier, is that defense is effort. A lot of these guys are more fixated on scoring than they are
Yeah,
on
they're
playing
young- they're
defense.
young
If
ass
you
team.
have a coach that's going to emphasize defensive effort, we just saw it with
Atkinson is
Dallas.
not going to do that.
No, he's not a defensive-minded coach.
Fair
So they
enough.
gotta get
Fair
a-
enough.
Well, listen,
fair
gotta
enough.
see
I don't
what the
disagree.
staff look like.
My
I don't
thoughts
disagree.
on this move are that I think it's a higher contrasting styles. I don't really view Kenny Atkinson as the perfect coach for Charlotte. I understand why they hired him. They wanted a different voice. They wanted somebody who can instill a culture, and Atkinson has deserved the job in this, from what he did with Brooklyn. But a guy who I think would be better if the Hornets want to go from bad defense to now good defense, I thought Mike Brown would have been a better hire for that, to really instill that culture. And if they really want to go all in on this offensive approach, I would have thought Mike D'Antoni would have been the best hire. And D'Antoni has shown in the past that the assistants he hires are capable of generating top of the end defenses in the league as well. This is why the Kenny Atkinson move is kind of a head scratcher to me. I know he's a good coach. I hope he has success. This is the most talented team that he's ever coached. I think this team is more
Over
talented
KD
than
and Kyrie?
well,
No, he didn't
I
coach
don't
them.
really
He coached
count
them.
them. I don't really count
I
that
was gonna
because it's
say.
not a full season.
Oh,
I'm
I-
talking about this is
Yeah.
more talented than D'Lo, Dinwiddie, all those other guys. But the biggest decision looming for the Hornets is what are they going to bring back Miles Bridges? Is a team going to give Bridges an offer that the Hornets want to potentially match? That's the biggest thing this
I think they
offseason
have
for
to.
them. You say they have to, but if a team out there is offering Miles Bridges $30 million, are you going to give that to him?
No.
Can a team actually offer him $30
They
million?
can offer
They can.
him that.
Of course.
Damn.
Otto Porter was offered a max contract when he left Washington. He was offered it by the Nets, and they matched it.
Is there
That
much
was a
of,
different max, though. Was it not?
That was a max for him. You can still get that amount of money, though.
who
No, he
matched it?
can't
Who
get-
matched it? Who matched
wait.
it?
Wizards, they
Thank
matched
God
it.
you didn't give
You
him the
Miles get
max.
30?
Hmm?
Don't you gotta get like an All-Star game or All-NBA team to get 30?
No, that's to get the Supermax, like 40
No,
mil.
the
Mitchell's
Supermax
not on the
is
Star
Or the
Supermax.
max
All-NBA.
contract is like 30, 34,
30
35,
mil,
40 mil.
30 mil for him is crazy, though. I'm not paying him
Because
30
isn't
mil,
Donovan
bro.
Mitchell on a $30 million deal? And that's not a super max.
Did Donovan make a first team?
No, he
No.
made an All-NBA team.
Did he
No.
make an? I don't think he's
Made
made
an
an
All-Star
All-NBA
game, though.
That's it. He hasn't made an All-NBA team, which is why he didn't get the Supermax. Rudy Gobert's made one, which
Yeah,
is
no,
why he
if-
got
if-
200.
If the Bridges
trash,
contract is
bro.
30 mil, he got to go.
Yeah, I'm
There's
not
no
mad.
way you bring it
You
back.
just go ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
rather just
Like
you know,
he's a
ride out
really
with
good
Gordon
scorer,
Hayward.
no
He ain't
doubt.
30
He's a
mil.
really
He
good
ain't
scorer,
30 mil.
but he
That's crazy.
benefits from playing with LaMelo because he knows how to feed him in trans.
So basically, before the season started, Miles Bridges turned down a 4-year, $60 million deal, which would be 15 mil a year.
He turned.
I
down
would
15.
turn that down, too. That's
Yeah.
disrespectful.
We
as
saw
shit.
Duncan Robinson get 18. I'm turning that shit down.
Joe Harris
easy.
has 20.
That weak-ass contract.
Sure, but Joe Harris, bro,
Bertans got
he's a sniper.
17
he is
mil.
one of the
Yeah,
better.
sniper.
Yeah,
three-point
Bertans
shooters.
gets paid more than me. That's disrespectful. Fuck that contract.
How much is?
I think
Bertans
he's.
getting?
I think he's like.
Years.
I think 20,
Stinky ass.
22
But the thing
mil
is, let's
the
be
most
real.
for him,
Bro.
bro.
I mean, he
Yeah, so if he asks him for 30, though,
Okay,
he's
and right
violating.
now he's expected to land a $173 million contract.
What's that, like 30?
yo, that's nuts. Yes, that's Julius
about-
Randle money.
Nah, bro, I'm not giving him that. He could.
Yeah,
walk.
nah, he could walk.
It's quiet.
Respectfully. You nice, but you ain't. And you doing lean.
Bro, he be bugging. And he had a blunt too. He's wildin'. I forgot about that.
173 mil over 5 years, so that's 34 mil a year.
Oh, yeah, nah, bro, you out of here.
And
Nah, you
Bro,
not
it's
really
really a
dedicated.
contract year, and he really
not
posted that
dedicated
on
to the
himself.
game.
Nah, he's
bro.
wildin'. He
He's
be
like, bro, it's
rapping.
pink lemonade.
Nah.
I'm just like, bro,
He
you
said
are
pink- it's pink lemonade?
Yes,
Nah, he's
bro.
cat.
It's
He's cat.
purple.
League personnel is a I just lost it here, but it says that League personnel expects the Hornets to match any offer for Miles Bridges.
A $34 million contract.
$34 million for a dunker.
He averaged 21.
Chill. He can shoot. Dunkers like
he's
that's
good,
rude.
but
That's
it's
rude.
not 33%.
That's one of the decisions. The other one is in the draft. They have to hopefully land Jalen Duren or Mark Williams.
Jalen Duren is a grown ass
We'll pick it
man.
13.
13. They could get
They could
Duren
get
for
somebody
sure.
They can get somebody good.
If they get Duren, then they don't have to go and spend money on DeAndre.
Bridges
Ayton.
sharp.
Yeah. Damn, 34?
That's crazy.
Wildin',
That's crazy.
bro.
He's not wilding.
He is wilding.
I mean, get your money,
bro,
but he. I
Get your
don't.
money, but get your money. Not your.
Nah, he's
not
trying to get
somebody
the
else's
most
money.
bread he could
Yeah.
get, though. I respect
And the
it.
Hornets also have Gordon Hayward on a $30
To be
million
fair, I don't
deal.
even think anybody's giving him $34 million though.
You'll be
Pistons.
surprised. You'll
The
be surprised.
Blazers could.
Would though?
They have 2 max cap spots.
No, I'm saying like you think, yo, let's build.
Imagine
around Dame,
that's
let's
one,
go get
yeah.
Miles Bridges. I don't think so.
Not ideal.
It could be one though.
Anthony
I
Simons is
hope they
there
ain't that
already.
dumb.
It could be the Pistons.
I was gonna say the Pistons actually.
I hope they ain't that dumb either.
Houston maybe.
They
I
got
don't know.
Jeremy Grant at the 4.
So you don't trust in Miles Bridges' development then? He just averaged 20 points per game.
I know.
So you don't think he's getting better than this?
Do you think this is him?
This is him. Is
I mean,
crazy.
he's not a
'cause
bad
only-
player.
What's his defense like?
No, it's bad. It's bad. His defense
I mean,
is trash.
Everybody on the Hornets.
His defense is
I
horrendous.
just searched in Miles Bridges and Pink Lemonade came up. That's hilarious.
I don't. Nah, 34 is crazy to me. I wouldn't give it to him. He hasn't earned 34. And I
We
understand
saw
you pay
that
on the
rating,
development
right?
part, but
It's not, but it's like it's not great.
You're banking on him to.
pretty much, I wouldn't
Be
bank on.
great.
I'm cool off that. No,
Would you
that
give-
money
would
to
you give him
Ayton
34?
instead of him?
hell no.
Well, given how the league is about to expand in 2 years, and given how the contracts are getting bigger and bigger, and the cap space is getting bigger and bigger because of TV deals,
So you're fine with it?
I'm not totally opposed to it. I mean, when you're a small market team, you have to give out these type of contracts to players.
Yeah, but to him,
And Gordon Hayward is probably leaving after next year.
He's
His contract is up, so
Still got Rozier's
You-
contract though.
yes, but
I like Rozier.
you need a core to build around. I feel like Hayward and Rozier aren't long-term building blocks.
Nope.
I think the long-term building blocks in Charlotte is LaMelo, Miles Bridges, and Buck Knight. Outside of that,
And
really,
PJ
there's no
Washington?
building blocks.
No, he's
Like
not.
PJ Washington is okay,
he's
but
mid.
like he's
He's
not
really
really a
mid.
building block.
no, he's not.
Like I think LaMelo and Bridges are both part of that building block for them
I agree.
that they want to keep.
34 is a lot.